Hello and welcome to Inside Solent, our monthly look at the university's latest news, projects and events. I'm multimedia journalism student Josh Stokes.
And I'm multimedia journalism student Sophie Squires, and we'll be your hosts this month.
In this programme,
we find out what Hampshire County Cricket team were doing on campus.
Curator Kate Maple talks to us about Solent Showcase Gallery's recent award win.
And we take a look at the Royal Television Society's Working in Journalism event hosted here in the Spark last month.
But first, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal will be visiting Solent in January to officially open the new St Mary's campus for the Warsash School of Maritime Science and Engineering. As well as opening the new city centre site, she will also be visiting our ship handling centre in Timsbury.
Staying with Warsash, 57 deck officer cadets recently celebrated the completion of their 3-year maritime education and training programme for navigation. Their sponsoring ship company, staff, family and friends joined the cadets at the official passing out ceremony at the Novotel in Southampton earlier this month.
And Solent Spark Building won the Best Student Experience category at the recent Education Estates Awards. A popular addition to campus since its opening in 2016, the Spark continues to enhance the student experience, providing innovative learning and social space. Now, Hampshire County Cricket's first team players recently came onto campus to use the university's sports labs and undergo assessment by our students.
My name is James Wright and I'm a technician instructor at Southampton Solent University. The sports scientists at Hampshire Cricket contacted us a few months ago asking if we would be able to provide support to their pre-season baseline testing. We have a number of specialist pieces of equipment in the university which they don't have access to, so it would be a great opportunity for our students to work with some of the professional players that they've got at the club. We've got an isokinetic dynamometer, which is a new piece of kit that we have which allows us to test muscular imbalances. So one of the tests that they did, they were looking at the hamstring to quadricep ratio, and there's evidence to suggest that a particular ratio is it could identify a risk of injury. So we also looked at explosive power. We had the individuals on our force plates, and we also used an OptiJump system which just looked at vertical jump height. But with the force plates we were able to identify whether there was an imbalance between left and right side of the body. So the strength and conditioning coaches and the physio at the club would be able to individualise training programmes. The results that we've provided to Hampshire Cricket will provide the S&C coaches with the data that they need to set an individual training plan for each player. It also means that when they come back in 4 to 6 weeks, we'll be able to monitor changes and see if there were any improvements or any areas that we need to focus on.
From cricket to community art, we caught up with Solent Showcase Curator Kate Maple to talk about the gallery's award-winning Small Faces exhibition.
Winning an award for Best Community Relations Campaign has been fantastic for Showcase Gallery because it was a recognition really of all the hard work that we put into the Small Faces exhibition and the type of participation that we did and the type of community groups that we work with. So it was really nice to acknowledge that we've actually achieved that hard work. Small Faces was a sort of a community participatory project that we ran at Showcase Galleries, and it was the People's Portrait exhibition project. So it was an open exhibition, literally anybody could apply and submit a postcard portrait, but nobody was turned away. So it was very inclusive, it was very accessible, you didn't have to frame your work, and it was literally open to people from age 2 to 92 or beyond. So we had a fantastic response. We worked with 33 schools, 64 community groups. We wanted to achieve about 3,000 artworks on the wall, and we ended up with 7,000 artworks on the walls. I think the Small Faces exhibition and winning the award and having such fantastic feedback from the show means that we've actually really changed our outlook as a gallery, that we'd like to become a much more participatory space. So that means really that every exhibition that we hold in the gallery now is going to have some element of community or school participation. So the next exhibition is by Kev Monday, who's a Hampshire-based artist, and we're going to have lots of schools and community groups involved. Some of them from the Small Faces original exhibition come back and get involved and make artwork in the gallery and around the city as well.
The university recently hosted the Royal Television Society's Working in Journalism event. Media students from across the region got the chance to meet working journalists to discuss current media issues, opportunities and career development. Charlotte Mednick went along to find out more.
Aspiring journalists from across Dorset and Hampshire gathered at Southampton Solent University last month for the chance to meet and network with industry professionals. The Working in Journalism event, hosted by the Royal Television Society, had working journalists from publications such as ITV and BBC meeting students.
The aim of today is to provide a snapshot of what it's like working in journalism, to look at the changing nature of the business, because it's always changing and we need to keep up to date about that.
I spoke to visiting Portsmouth News reporter and recent multimedia journalism graduate David George about the event.
The event's been absolutely fantastic. It's sort of come full circle. 3 years ago I was here talking to some big shot journalists, and now all of a sudden I'm the other side of the table. So a lot of the questions have revolved around work experience, and there's a lot of people, it's the most important thing for getting a job is work experience. Keep going back to where you find enjoyable and get yourself in the door as quickly as you can.
I'm Charlotte Mednick, reporting for Inside Solent.
We now go over to Vice-Chancellor Professor Graham Baldwin to get the latest sector updates and university news.
So obviously we're coming to the end of the year now. How do you feel this year has been for Solent?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting year. It's been quite challenging. We saw the publication of the Higher Education and Research Act, which is leading to quite a lot of change in the sector and quite a lot of challenge. But despite that challenge, we've been very, very successful, and we've had a really, really good year, culminating in award of research degree awarding powers. And most recently, only last week, we were at the National Awards, the THE Awards, where we were shortlisted in 2 categories, Research Project of the Year and also in Entrepreneurial University of the Year. So really, really pleasing, and I'd like to take this opportunity of congratulating all the students who have been so successful and who have made this a successful year, and thank all the staff who have contributed to that as well.
And what's the university got coming up next year?
Yeah, many plans. I mean, already looking like a very busy year, a very challenging year again, so we're going to have to work even harder. But we've already got a couple of highlights already on the horizon. In January, we're opening our new campus for the teaching of the officer cadets within the Warsash School of Maritime Science and Engineering, and I'm delighted to say that the Princess Royal is coming to spend a day with us and to open that facility. And of course, we'll see further developments with regard to the new indoor sports complex, which will really take shape during the course of next year before its opening in 2019. And before that, I'm just hoping that staff and students manage to get some holiday over Christmas, that they have a restful and peaceful Christmas and come back energised for the new year.
And now it's time for a roundup of this month's sporting news.
Hi, I'm sports broadcast journalist and master student Li Jiaxu with a roundup of this month's sporting news. First off, it's congratulations to HPA athlete Mohammed, who has been named as part of the 40-strong Eurocross team that will represent Britain in Slovakia this month. He was selected after finishing first in the British Under-23 trials race and will now be looking to add to the individual Eurocross bronze he won last year. In other news, our team Solent men's football team made it to the 3rd round of the FA Vars after entering the competition in round 2 with a 2-0 win over Tavistock AFC. Unfortunately, the winning streak ended after losing 4-0 to Bradford Town. And our team Solent Shark wheelchair rugby team are having a great season, currently sitting 2nd in the Super League competition. And lastly, women's table tennis are currently top of Bucks Western 1A with an impressive 4-1 record. We wish them the best of luck in the upcoming matches. That's all for this month. For Inside Solent, I'm Li Jiaxu.
And finally, ever wondered what happens to our Timsbury Lake training vessels over the winter? Every year the fleet of manned models are raised out of the lake and given an MOT. We were down at the Ship Handling Centre when Challenger, a scale model of a ro-ro ferry, was lifted onto dry dock by senior technicians Mark Beeger and Stuart Casimir.
That's all we have for you this month, so from everyone here at Inside Solent, we'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. Goodbye and thank you for watching.